we'll need a motion and a second to deal with new business, and then we can have discussion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bartlett. Thank you, Gary. And I need a second.
Second.
Oh, give it to Charlotte.
We'll give it to Charlotte. All right.
It's just swap.
Okay,
She did.
Marie, I'll let you go down through anything you'd like to comment on under new business.
I mean, it's standard this time of the year. We have people resigning, and we have our contract, new contracts that we're offering. So nothing out of order there. I do want to note the LPDC. This is something that we're required to lead in terms of the local professional development committee, and we do pay a $300 stipend. So you can see the folks who are participating in that. Caitlin Hughes is currently our chair, and she receives a little bit more of a stipend because she has to do the administrative piece and the coordination. Note on item 19, Carrie Stone and Mary Rawlings. These are the career navigators that we employ and contract to the county commissioners for the 33 Alliance work that is very much connected with our Business Advisory Council. They have been very well received by the districts, and we're really pleased that they will be continuing for this next year. So it's nice to have that consistency in staffing. We've had no turnover since we started that program, and I think that really adds great value to making progress in the districts. Again, this year, item 20, Jeff Langdon is being contracted from us to Forward Edge. We do realize an 8% fiscal fee that we pay for his employment, so that is a great benefit to our general fund. And this year we also have, they have a cybersecurity service that they offer, and they have been generous in providing that. They're going to be providing that at no cost to the ESC. And, you know, with all that we're doing on the internet right now, we always need to be vigilant in terms of making sure that we have our system safe. James does a phenomenal job. So this is just to make sure that we, you know, there isn't something more we need to be doing. And then finally, I do want to note item 22. And you have a copy of the MOU. You should have been given a copy of the MOU. This is really an agreement that is between the ESC and Bloom Carroll Schools for the use of the Lithopolis building. At this point in time, we will have 2 Prep for Success classrooms. They are the ones that will be moved from Forest Rose to that facility. And with the growth of Bloom Carroll, I think we're going to end up with 4 preschool classrooms there for this fall, with the way the numbers are going. And so this MOU really establishes who's responsible for what. We, in essence, will operate what's inside of the building. The Bloom Carroll will be providing the lunches. They will maintain the internet connectivity, and they will be maintaining the grounds in the facility. So it's a great win-win. I think it brings us into a space that we will be able to stay in for quite a while. It also benefits the Bloom Carroll community. So we felt it was important to formalize that agreement rather than just having a handshake deal. And we also wanted to make sure that it was documented, that notification by January would need to be provided if for some reason they changed their mind. This had not been the case in the past with some other partners, which makes it incredibly difficult at the last minute to find appropriate alternative space for programming that we need to provide children. So that's really all that I have to say about the agenda, unless you have any questions.
Questions on it? Go ahead, Charlotte.
Now the preschools are only Monday through Thursday, right? So when they say there's no cook on Friday, then that's for the Prep for Success.
Yes, we'll be doing something creative with them on Friday. So we might have pizza. Kids are only there for half a day on Friday anyway for Prep for Success.
Oh,
We'll have like a pizza reward day. We'll have, there's a number of local places that we could potentially contract with. So we'll use that to our advantage in terms of what we do with kiddos. As something special on Fridays for them.
and you want to say anything about the as you were saying, the resignations as far as okay. I see. I'd overlooked Teresa Dempsey. That's whoops. Whoops. So the school psychologist, behavioral specialist, OT.
Yeah, so the Teresa Dempsey, she is going to the Ohio Department of Education. Angela McLean has been hired by Amanda Clear Creek. They took their three preschool classrooms back, and she's being hired by them directly. Caitlin Mose has been hired by Lancaster City Schools as a school psychologist. Jack Schlebig, Jack lives in the Olentangy area, and he's being hired by Olentangy Schools. So it makes sense that Jack would want to be up there. He felt so awful resigning. He really loves working here, but we understand his life situation, and he's interested in starting his PhD. So he's had a shift. Chelsea Spielman, who lives in Bern Union, her kids go to Bern Union. She is being hired directly by Bern Union as an occupational therapist. And Margaret Wood is being hired by Amanda Clear Creek. So Amanda Clear Creek has hired a couple of our folks for the preschool program.
Am I hearing we won't need to replace those because they were hired by the districts they were serving?
We will not need, so for Ashley and Amanda, we've reassigned folks that were at the Amanda preschool. They're being reassigned, so we had internal staff that needed assignments, so we're not really going to have to post a whole lot of new hires this year. Dr. Dempsey, I'd like to be thoughtful about how I redesign that position after the SWOT analysis is completed. And in the interim, I will be coming to you at the next board meeting with a recommendation for a one-year contract person to close that gap. We will not need to replace Angela. We have posted and need to replace Caitlin. We have posted and need to replace Jack. We do not need to replace, actually, we do need to replace Chelsea. We need another OT that's fully licensed. OTAs have to be supervised by an OT. So I need another OT to serve our districts or in our consortium programs. And we will not need to replace Margaret Wood. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I was also interested in what we're contracting with Madison ESC, wherever that was.
That was for to cover a medical leave.
Oh,
You mean Madison Champaign? That was to
Right.
cover a medical leave, and that will not continue.
Okay.
Next year.
Any other questions, Charlotte?
So is it that the schools are big enough that they can afford, or that makes sense for them to just have their own? Or,
Good question. So as the districts have gotten larger, they find it easier to just hire people directly. They don't feel the need to contract through us. Amanda Clear Creek, it will not be a cost savings for Amanda Clear Creek to do their own preschool, but that's their prerogative and they've decided that's what they want to do. So, they may be back in a few years. Remember, Pickerington decided at one point in time, well, I guess Lou would have been here at that point, to take their preschool back. I think they did it for 2 years, realized how much it was costing them, turned around and came back to us, and we've operated it since, I think, my second year I've been here. Pickerington came back to us. So, we just respect their decision, and I think it's real. The SWAT is really important in terms of us to continue to evolve, be relevant, and to reorganize to be a viable organization. So, all's good.
Gary, anything to add?
No.
Charlotte, anything else?
I don't think so.
Ron?
No.
Mary? Okay, let's have a roll call, and this includes the 2%, just to make sure everybody is remembering that.
Mr. Bartlett,
Yes.
Mr. Fowler,
Yes.
Ms. Owens,
Yes.
Ms. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes. We now are on to reports and information, and we can start with Maria again.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the meeting last.
I'm going to run through this as quickly as I can. Regarding COVID recommendations, we obviously are in this mode of, the governor's announcements regarding changes to mask policies, et cetera. I've been in communication with the county commissioner's office who owns this building. They had come through a week ago, and they were getting ready to take down all the mask signs and just have us wide open. And I asked them to not do that until I met with you all. My recommendation, and what is coming out of the CDC, the health department at the state level, et cetera, regarding schools, is the governor's recommendations regarding the rest of the general public is not going to apply to schools, because schools continue to have a large number of individuals who are not immunized within a small space or within close proximity. We are still waiting to see what falls out for the fall in case that changes. And part of it will have a lot to do, I believe, with the extent to which 12 to 18-year-olds receive immunizations and what the mask policies will be for the fall. For the central office, I'm going to recommend that if a person is fully vaccinated, they no longer have to wear a mask. And if they are not vaccinated, they continue to wear a mask. This is a policy that's in place. We're seeing more and more in businesses. And it is what I recommend for now until we learn more. We have already removed, as you noticed coming in the door, the temperature station. I don't believe that's relevant, nor did that really it was recommended but never mandated. So I do want to know what your thoughts are and what you'll support regarding that, but that is my recommendation currently. Thoughts, questions?
Comments?
Are you doing,
Go ahead, Charlotte.
oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, that's fine.
I was wondering if you're doing any sort of vaccination check Otherwise, so you're, yeah, that's all I'm asking. Yeah.
We know who was vaccinated.
Well,
I
when you
mean,
have the,
they were,
if
we
you
ran
have the public
vaccine-
come in,
In terms of public coming in, I think public coming in need to still wear masks. I'm not going to get into the business of checking
That's gonna be.
people's.
They've been doing it based on just like good faith at stores. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if signs are, like, I went to Meyer yesterday, sign, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask.
That's why it was at
Nobody's
Target.
asking.
At Target yesterday, the girl, when I walked in, because I had it in my hand, I said, should I put it on? She said, you've been vaccinated? No.
So is that your preference, that we put a sign up that says if you're fully vaccinated, you do not need to wear a mask?
That's up to everybody else.
You're not vaccinated.
I'm okay.
That's the new recommendation.
All right. I'm fine with
Gary,
that.
any thoughts?
Well, I mean, you're still going on the honor system, whether they do that or not. You can't ask people anything about their medical history. So it's going to be honor system, whether they wear a mask if they're not vaccinated or not.
I do know employees and businesses are being asked to show proof of a vaccine if they want to be in the workplace without a mask. That is how that's being handled. I actually was at Lowe's this weekend and asked one of the girls there too, because I was curious. It was like, it seemed random to me who had masks on, who didn't. And she said that was the case, that they could show proof of their vaccine, they didn't need to wear their mask.
Well, I'm talking about even like the general public coming in.
Right. No, I hear you. So am I hearing you that for general public, we'll put a sign up, they'll be on the honor system, if they've been vaccinated, they don't need to wear a mask? And that.
Yeah, I mean, you can put the sign up. I'm just saying that it's going to be an honor system thing because.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But for employees, that we would request proof of vaccine if we don't already know that they're vaccinated, and otherwise they need to wear a mask, or do you want to just get rid of masks altogether?
I mean, can you do that with HIPAA?
Has to see a vaccination card? Yeah, I
An
think so.
employer has the right to ask the question. We do for other things.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, you may not like this. I'm gonna suggest something like, masks have been helpful in preventing the spread of COVID, but also the flu. So, we are seeing health benefits. I know it's getting too long, but however, if you are fully vaccinated, you do not need to wear a mask. You can say that. But I don't want it to be like, people get to wear a mask if they want to wear a mask, even if they're vaccinated.
Well, absolutely. Anyway,
Oh, absolutely.
You don't want anyone going, so
Yeah.
you're not vaccinated. Well, no, I'm just trying to set a good example.
We have a sign at our front at one of our mask and sanitizing stations that says cough fever, wear a mask. So it's kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of a general thing. Mhm.
Yeah, so.
You could just put up masks are not required if you are fully vaccinated.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
simple.
That's probably the best way
That's
to go.
very
It's where
simple. Very
CDC seems to be. Okay,
Okay.
anything else?
Next, I wanted to let you know that I've been invited to be considered for the Fairfield Medical Center Hospital Board. I filled out an application. I need to meet with the president or the CEO, Jack. I think it's on June 1, I'm meeting with him, and then the board would vote to determine whether or not I would join the board. It is a Wednesday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a Wednesday evening meeting, and I don't mind taking on the obligation. About 3 weeks ago was my last meeting serving on the Ohio State Society Board. I served on that board for 12 years. I served as the VP, 2 terms as president and past president, and I tapped out my time. They booted me off. It's time for somebody else.
Who's leaving the board there?
Auni Cordell is leaving the board. I know because she has now taken a position with the county commissioners, and she will be facilitating or directing whatever the process for the utilization of the $35 million in CARES Act or American Recovery Act money that's been distributed to the county. And so she feels as though there might be a conflict of interest. I do know that. And I don't know of any other changes that have taken place. They really felt like they needed somebody with an education background. And I think that we as an ESC really impressed Fairfield Medical in how our agency worked collaboratively with them. And so I was honored to receive the invitation.
Yes, congratulations.
Next, I already talked about the grant money, but I did want to send out to you, and I just got this morning at like, I don't know, 7:30 a.m. from Craig Burford at OESCA. But this is the updated diagram on the efficiency, effectiveness, and basically the return on investment of ESCs in the state of Ohio. And in 2020, 95% of ESCs expenditures were provided or were spent on direct services, with only 5% overhead costs. $1.64 billion of services were provided to Ohio schools. And we saved an average of 34% to districts on the services we provided, which, and finally, $159,658,700 were received by ESCs in grant funding. Tremendous impact of ESCs, and I just wanted to give you the updated little diagram that I received. We'll post this on our board out front, and I will also share this with districts. That's all I have.
Any questions for Marie on any of the items?
Oh, one more item. My apologies. One thing we should probably also talk about is each year we've discussed having a shortened week for employees that want to work longer days, Monday through Thursday, and to have either a half or a whole day off, depending on how they want to use leave or if they get their hours in. We wanted to ask the board for that flexibility again this year for the Fridays in June and the first 3 Fridays in July. The 4th and 5th Fridays in July, we need to be geared back up and ready to go 5 days a week, where districts are also ramping back up. And again, a reminder, our opening day is August 6th. So wanted to put that out on the table for the board to support that
You've done
flexibility.
it how many years now already?
2 or 3 since Courtney.
Yeah, 2017-18 school
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
That was the first year.
I don't, unless somebody sees a need for a motion, I mean, that's administrative decision.
Yep.
Go for it.
Well, thank you, Pierre. Thank you all. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Eastland Fairfield.
We've had 2 meetings since we've last met here. On the 19th, let's see. the director at Fairfield became transitioning over to, and now it has been, we had the meeting on the 24th, last night for 5 minutes, approved Derek Roth becoming the career readiness coordinator. And his replacement is Matthew McGregor at Fairfield Career Center. Then he's originally from the Gahanna Lincoln District, and that was approved last night. They're also in the process of looking at business operations manager as a new position to try to create economies of scale between the 2 locations to save money. And let's see, there was one other thing. Well, Mary attended all the senior recognition ceremonies, bless her heart. And we had the cosmetology presented on the 19th in that program.
And that poor guy's taking terrible ribbing. He's our new communications guy, Ryan Gesser.
Oh, yeah.
And he did the presentation because it had been put up. And when we were at Fairfield Friday for Thursday for the certification thing, everybody was saying, now, Ryan can tell you what the hairstyles are going to be because he did a presentation on it. I mean, his face was as red. I mean, the whole day, everybody was going on about Ryan can do this. I mean, even some of the parents were saying, hey, we heard you were really good in cosmetology. So I don't know, his first presentation, if he'll even want to do another one. But, and the certifications did go well, like as he said, you know, it was totally different. And it was quite interesting to get through all of it. And I was a little concerned because homeschool people weren't invited, and either Marie wasn't invited. So if they didn't know about it, they didn't know to come even,
Right.
what was going on. So those are things that will need to be corrected, I think.
Now let's see how our kids graduate.
Under additional reports, we need to have a motion and a second that we would have a special board meeting on Wednesday, June 9th at 8:30 a.m. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
So, okay, moved by Mary Pierce first, and then seconded by Gary Bartlett.
So we'll need to make notification coordinator. Get that on the website.
Can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Bartlett,
Yes.
Mr. Fowler,
Yes.
Ms. Owens,
Yes.
Ms. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Steven.
Yes. Anything else before we take a motion on adjournment? Start with you, Gary. Anything to add?
Nope.
Charlotte?
Oh, I just wondered, anything to report from the Success Center?
All of our kids graduated this year, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're
I mean,
now,
that's big news.
that's huge this year.
Yeah.
And we're now working on trying to link all of them to work. There are a couple of new programs in the county. Clark, well, you know, Corey Clark presented at Mary at the BAC. We're trying to get them engaged in something purposeful. So all good. All good.
Ron?
Yeah.
Mary?
Business advisory group is a big group, and I think those people, like she said about Corey Clark, he did do a nice presentation, and several of the people that have in the past and people that are part of that, I think the county definitely needs to realize that that's a real functioning operation to get kids employed. I've talked to 2 people who asked me about their kids are just floundering. I mean, they graduated and they don't have a clue where they're going to go or what they're going to do.
Right.
And I suggested, I actually talked to Rick the other day about to get a phone number for these people to call, because
We need to start advertising.
yeah, it needs to be, because people, just in both of these cases, that people just call and ask, well, Mary, what can I tell my kid he can do? And I'm thinking, well, where have you been all your life? I mean, it's just like,
But a lot of times the
they
families
just don't think about it until the kid is our guy's diploma and he's just like sitting there. Now, one's going to Cedar Point to get a summer job because it was online, and they got a $500 bonus. They're getting $22 an hour to work up there, and they can stay for $10 a day in a dorm.
Wow.
And they had to make a commitment for 8 weeks. And that was it.
Hmm.
And they're selling they're collecting tickets. That's their job. So at least I got one work for the summer, but I don't
That's
know.
been a big deal since I was in,
Oh, yeah.
when I was growing up in Detroit, they used to recruit kids to come and work.
They said last week it was terrible when they opened because they didn't have enough help. People waited an hour and a half in line to eat and all kinds of things, even though they had.
I'm so glad, like, we were gonna go last weekend if we didn't have a soccer game. I know, we dodged that bullet.
Yeah.
And we ended up having a soccer game last weekend.
That's all.
All right. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
You, Gary? And a second? Charlotte? Okay.
Is that Charlotte or the cat?
It's 10:18.
The cat doesn't speak English as well as I do, so that may be marginal.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Bartlett,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Ms. Owens,
Yes.
Ms. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
Who wants to go to the dentist? That's where I'm always gonna get a crown.
Wish everybody a happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, be safe,
Hey,
everyone.
Go to the dentist, I'll let someone go one place.
My Trevor went yesterday and had 3 fillings.